What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is up a very impressive 10.25%, 1645 the low, 1839 the high, 76 million shares being traded, 71 is the average. So definitely a lot of good volume. Based on this right here, you are seeing a lot of transactions occurring on the secondary market. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I always like to analyze where volume comes from, whether it be algorithmic trading, actual institutions, or whatever else. Based on this, institutions are actually buying SoundHound up, and that's definitely a 10 out of 10, much better than being artificially pumped higher through algorithmic trading. One thing that's really pushing the market higher today is chip makers. So there's FOMO going on in the broader market, and SoundHound's participating based on that. There was news that did come out though from SoundHound, and that was right here. So SoundHound AI named a leader in IDC MarketScape for Worldwide General Purpose Conversational AI Platforms 2025. So good stuff. This is one of many accomplishments that they've received. So clearly their product works. It'd be nice if they kind of expanded outside their set sectors that they've really talked about. One thing I would really want to hear from them in their upcoming earnings though, there was that interview that came out 2-3 weeks ago. I actually posted on this channel on a side note, but they talked about fintechs, and they didn't really exactly say SoundHound was going to be expanding there, but that would be one massive revenue source for SoundHound. So if they're able to hit the brick and mortar banks or even other fintechs, that would be where the real money is at. So aside from this one news that did come out, there wasn't really all that much associated to SoundHound. So it is just largely piggybacking off the broader market. There was data that came out first thing. So that was Challenger job cuts, came in at 54,000, forecast of 150. Very positive stuff. The only downside is because of this being positive, it did diminish that likelihood of a 50 basis point cut. So yesterday it was showing like 1 or 2%. Now that kind of went away. I do feel by the end of this week, if not early next week, the market will start to price in this 25 basis point cut for the upcoming October 29th meeting. And that would just like push everything significantly higher. So SoundHound could potentially benefit from that. Aside from that, shorts are returning 225,000 shares. 32.84% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 119 million shares. DTC is 2.07 days. So that does signal that shorts are overextended still. So this stock is crazy. They have a massive solid growth, and you can see that as well based on this. So their forecasted earnings, upcoming earnings, you're seeing estimated going over to the revenue, solid double-digit year-over-year growth, 61, 55, 43, 19 or 20, 31%, and that's analysts being largely conservative. So at the end of the day, things could get very real very fast, like I mentioned, and that would be putting shorts in a very difficult bind. So despite this massive amount of growth that is in SoundHound's future, shorts are holding on for dear life. So I think over the next month, possibly even quarter, this is where you could see shorts really return back to, realistically, I would say that 25% range. And that would just be the tip of the iceberg in my opinion. Aside from all of that though, and actually it looks like the market just closed. So it closed at 1784, but moving on from here, looking at the options, 38 million in calls, 4.19 million in puts. And so 49% of all the options being done were bullish in nature. And so between, it looks like 140 and 145, there was 2.4 million in premiums. So if we pop this open and kind of look at this based on the premiums, it looks like it was a multi-leg transaction. You could tell based on the timestamps, but the largest one, so obviously whoever did do this, was more oriented towards being bullish. So 1.45 million in premiums, and that was for expiring tomorrow, a 1650 call, and they paid about looks like $1.52. So their break even is 18, give or take. So they are assuming by tomorrow it will be well above 18. So that's definitely something to take to the bank if that's something that floats your boat. So whoever did that, clearly sees more upside. And yeah, you know, you never know. Big money always knows something ahead of time, so something to keep in mind. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 18 to 1850 going into tomorrow. Then bears are anticipating for it to be sub 17, so definitely a lot more upside is anticipated. With tomorrow being Friday, just take note of this. This is all the open interest: 10,000 at the 16, 15,000 to 1650, 65,000 17, 21,000 at the 18. So best case scenario, if SoundHound is able to close above 18, that's where you could see a nice gamma squeeze rolling over into next week. No new analyst ratings on a side note, so there really hasn't been that much coming out from them. So last one did come out, I think it was $18 price target. Yeah, $18 price target. That was almost about just over 2 weeks ago. Aside from that though, with it closing at 1784, trading between this R1 and the pivot, so 1860 is going to be that key level to really watch for in the next little bit. Whether that's actually hit tomorrow or not, that's going to be the next element to watch for. And if so, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from that 20, and then potentially even higher from there. Aside from all of that fun stuff, there really hasn't been that much associated to SoundHound worthwhile to bring up. So no new kind of articles or anything along those lines. As far as this, looking at the market position, you see a lot more willing buyers. You still have that little bit of a wall, so if it's able to get above that 1820 tomorrow, then it really fly. And so previously 1933 was that recent high that was done on September the 23rd. So most likely, if everything goes according to plan over the next couple of trading days, you could see that hit. And potentially one thing that could really push it higher as well is analyst ratings. So I think Daniel Ives is somewhat overdue to give a rating. Maybe they're waiting for their upcoming earnings, which has been not announced yet, but as I mentioned, that could be a huge catalyst for them if they kind of talk about fintechs and expansion and stuff like that. Because if you actually think about it, SoundHound, they are playing it very safe, and sometimes that might not necessarily be the best. But if they start coming out saying, hey, we want to take over the world, we're going to expand into this sector, like, I think the markets would take that very positively. Let me know your thoughts on SoundHound, and if you've been buying, if you've been selling, and what you've generally been doing. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Worthwhile to kind of pop over there and take a look at that. So with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.